I swear that music's only down at like a 6 out of 100, and it is just so loud over here. But we'll figure out what it's at. All right. So what are we doing today? We are. I'm really just wasting time until the wife gets home. She went to cut one of our niece's hair and one of our teenage niece's hair, so I'm sure that's going to take a little bit longer. And I have labs to build. I guess all kinds of other things I should be doing. I have our whole Proxmox environment. Some of you guys remember I stood this up last month. It's been over a month now. And I only put one machine on it the first night we built it. And then I built in some functionality for us, but I didn't really do anything after that. The functionality was around us being able to hit this box. I guess I could just put this like this here. Throw this over here on the right so you guys can see. So I don't know. I guess we could work on that. We could work on communication back with the rest of our lab. Our jump server. This is doing our Proxmox stuff, which this can deploy, and we can variabilize this more. We can actually read in, if we want to deploy multiple servers, we can do all kinds of things. I just haven't really thought about what we want to do with this. I guess so. We could do that. We could do labs. The other day when I was working on labs, we got a couple of labs done that people wanted me to work through, so we could keep doing Killer Coda labs if we wanted to. What else? I guess we could do all kinds of stuff. We got all kinds of space on this bad boy. We're just not doing anything with it. It's just sitting there turning electricity into heat. So we got to figure out what we're working on here. I don't really have a good plan right now. But we can build labs if we need to. I have 3 labs to build out, and there's a 4th one that we could do for fun, which isn't directly related to the automation course, but I think it would be a fun lab because we would be using a tool called Bacula, and Bacula is a pretty good backup tool. We could work through the process of building a lab out for that, and yeah. I think that we got all kinds of things we can do, right? Let's take a trip around the lab real quick just to make sure. Let's go from jump box. Let's get in werewolf. Do I know roots? I think we do it this way. Perfect. Don't care about the home directories. Got our nodes, got everything up. We should be able to do let's see. I think I could just hit all the nodes here. We do node pattern. I wonder if we can get away with all. So we could say hammer 1 to 5. Let's just try this real quick. And then what the command? Let's see, I'm curious. Oh, so that did hit all of them. Okay. So it says we could do a comma, and we could do Rocky 1 and 2. And then we could do auto 1 through 5. And then we could do target. I don't actually know how to do that. Let's just do that for now. I don't know how to do that other one. So looks like all the nodes are up. We didn't have any weird errors. I wonder if I could get away with target. I don't think you can get away with an asterisk. I don't think it'll do asterisk. Oh, well. No, it won't do it. Alright. I don't know, because we have the dashes in the name, so obviously we can't use the dashes in the actual command. That wouldn't work. That's okay. We have other ways, guys. We have other ways we can hit these servers. I was just trying to do it from Werewolf, from a command in there. We have Ansible. Whoops. We've got all these, so we could say. We just do that too. That'll hit them all if they're all up. Although, yeah, Rocky should be fine. Okay. Yeah. There we go. All right. See, all the nodes have been up. I don't think anybody's actually in any of those nodes. So we may take this opportunity. Yeah, let's take this opportunity, since nobody's in any of the nodes, to just hit these all with a reboot. I haven't maintained the system in a while, so I want to just reboot them all. And we'll give them a little bit of time. Yep, let them all reboot. We'll give them sleep 240 to come back up, and then we can watch one boot. If we want to at least see one of them boot, we can. I'll just go watch Rocky one boot for fun. And while that's going, we can wait and see, what do we want to do over here. The only thing we have going on this node is the host box, which you guys know is my NFS server in my environment. It does all my NFS sharing, and it's also my Samba for my home. So it does my home directory Samba for, well, not home directory, but directories for my Linux environment into my home, right? So I have like data, a whole bunch of data stuff out there, backups and that kind of stuff. But what would be nice is also be nice to set up in our own environment is to have our Bacula server out there. So we may set up a Bacula server on this as well to do our backup stuff. The system's taking longer than I would have thought to come up with the console here. Those nodes are definitely taking their time. See how this one's doing. It's coming up. He sees that he's auto 1. Good. So he's connected into Werewolf. He's got his kernel and his version of his image. So he's pulling down his image right now and doing his Dracut pre-mount for his, well, he doesn't run local disks. He runs RAM disk, init RAM FS, right? So let him come up. Hammer servers are probably similar. Yeah. They're sitting in the same spot. They'll come up here in a little bit. I'm kind of worried. Well, not super worried, but this other one should have been coming up pretty quick. Oh, here he is. Okay, he's doing his Pixie boot. So he came up with DHCP. Didn't know who he was. Found out who he is. He's the Rocky 1 server. He's got the Rocky Linux 9 image with the 5.14 kernel, and then he's going to boot up. Oh, you know what we could do? Well, I mean, I'm kind of just burning time until the wife gets home, but we could, if we wanted to, download Rocky 10. They do have Rocky 10 up. So if I say Werewolf images, right, their images here are right here. Where are their images? Here's their example images. We could pull any of these down. I saw, oh, I don't even know what OpenEuler is. What is that? Werewolf contained definition, OpenEuler. I don't even know what that is. I've heard that name before, but it's been a long time. That's been a long time since I've heard that name. What is this? is this thing? Okay, it'll support all kinds of different architecture. We're using x86 everywhere, so we don't care. But what is this thing doing? Huawei Cloud. Container images. I don't know what this... I don't even know what this is, though. I mean, I know it's an operating system. I just don't know. Looks like it's pretty robust. But why am I not seeing... You would think they would have, you know... Alright, fuck it. Let's read a white paper. Let's see what this is. Physicist. I knew that, yeah, that's where the name comes from. Okay, okay. But what is the purpose of this? Oh, right? Like, we use OSs professionally for, you know, hopefully real reasons. Oh, by the way, there's Rocky up. So Rocky server's up. All these nodes should be up. We'll give them another 120. Goals, open, diverse architecture, inclusive ecosystem for all digital infrastructure scenarios. Okay, so it wants to fit on a lot of stuff. Let's see more recently. Linux kernel 6.6, that's pretty new, right? It's the 6 kernel, not 5. Like all of your Red Hats, your RHEL and your Rockies are going to be on the 5 kernel. 5, what is it? 5.14 was it? I don't remember. All right. It's released every 6 months. All right, that's all right. They're focusing on containers, which is good. K3 Edge Cloud collaboration. Interesting. We used to, back in the day, we used to build kernels to boot as fast as we could, try to get them on the smallest memory footprint. That was an old game we used to play. There's not a lot of professional use for that kind of stuff. I tell you guys often, like, we want to do all the fun things, but almost universally, like, what really ends up happening is we just build and support a fleet of servers. That's kind of what our job is in the world. Okay. Work on any of those. That's... I feel like this is old documentation if they're talking anything about CentOS. Alright, because CentOS has been out for, like gone for a couple of years now. So... Yep, gotta have CUDA. Alright, look, all of our boxes are back up. Werewolf is werewolfing. That's good. Syshacks. What a fun name. If we want to play with this, we can download this and run it in our cluster. It wouldn't be hard to set one of these nodes up. All right, that's interesting. We can note that that's at least there. We'll see that right here, right? And we could download it if we want. Podman build, pull it down. But right now, there's Rocky 10, so we can bring down Rocky 10. It was last built 2 months ago. We could put that in the environment. We could kick a node over on it. We do have where do we have additional? Well, we have all kinds of capacity out here, but we got to set Proxmox up to use the right VLAN if we want to do that. And I have not messed with Proxmox networking. I know that it's here, and I know that I should be able to do some editing and adding of, where's my VLAN tagging? Let me see if they will let me. This is my device that's up right now. Don't need any of that. I wonder if it's in here. Yeah, VNet. I don't want to mess with any of that crap. Yeah, I don't know exactly where to do this in the virtual local area network. Set VLAN 1. So VLAN 1 is what we use in the rest of our environment. And if we use VLAN 1, let's see. VLAN tag will be 1. Auto start. Raw device. 1. I don't know what that is in relation. Oh. See if this breaks everything. I kind of don't want to do that. Let's see here. Let's see. Maybe it'll break everything. Maybe I got to go actually to the machine and get it back up. No, it looks like I still have control of it. That's fine. All right. So if we do have a VLAN, and if we could assign a VLAN to a new machine, let's see if we can just make a new machine real quick. Just create a new VM, and let's see if we can give it. It doesn't. I don't really care what we call it, but Rocky 10, and we won't start them on boot just yet. OS, we're gonna worry about local. And we won't use any media right now. He's going to come up on his own when he does come up. Don't need any of that stuff. Network. All right, disks. Let's give him a disk. Nope. All right. Disk size from lab storage. That's fine. We'll give him 32 gigs. Perfect. And actually, he doesn't need any of that really. We'll start with 2 and 4 for now. Whoops, no, 2 and 2. And then memory will be 4. That's fine. Network. We are going to give him this other network. I do want to give him a VLAN tag of 1. But I don't know. Why can I not pick? Maybe I have to do that other thing with the bridge. See if the VLAN tagging holds from just inside of this. So typically with VLAN interfaces, it doesn't matter for accepting a packet. It matters for a packet. Well, not even packet. It's a frame, but it doesn't matter for a frame coming in. It matters only when a frame goes to leave, right? So we'll tag it with the VLAN tag 1. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll see. And then next, and let's just build this box, right? He's not doing anything. He's just sitting here. We didn't give him a name or anything. Oh, we gave him Rocky 10, I guess. He's not booted yet, but I want to go see in his hardware. What is his? There's his network device right there, right? So we've got this network device for him. Let's go over here to Werewolf. Well, first let's try to boot him just with what we've got, right? So let's do wctl node list -a, And for fun, because we already have the servers, we already have a server to pretend vi nodes. Before we do anything, copy nodes.conf over to nodes.conf.date plus percent capital F backtick, and that'll make the file, right? And we're gonna go. We're in Rocky 2 here. Any of these nodes, and we've got 216 to 230. So what is that, 15? Because 216 is counting, and so is 230. I know you would say, well, isn't that only 14? Yeah, but you're counting the one at the beginning and the end. So I think that's 14. You know, we'd skip that for now. We'll go ahead and use Rocky 4 here. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna give him that MAC address over there of BC, and then 24. I guess I could copy it, maybe 1B, and then E6 A2, right? And route, all those things are good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need. If that can VLAN out. Yeah, that should maybe work. We'll see. Yeah, Dev, you said you like this timing for streams. Yeah, I'm just hanging out, burning time before the wife gets home. She went to go cut one of the niece's hair. So we're going to do that. We're not even going to change anything else, but we are going to do wwctl configure nodes. We'll just do configure all, right? Just let it configure all. And then we're going to do systemctl restart werewolf, just for werewolf D, just for fun. And then we will wctl node list dash a for Rocky 4. Okay, and Rocky 4 should now be BC24111B E6A2. Okay, so now if this box boots and he's got a proper VLAN tag, he should be able to talk to our werewolf server and boot himself from werewolf. We'll see. It's let's go watch the console. I've never tried this off Proxmox, so we're messing with this for the first time. He came up with DHCP, he came up off a werewolf, and he sees himself as Rocky 4. I've never done that in my environment before, guys. Never even messed with it. So what we've done now, for people who haven't been around, we have 4 physical machines in my environment, and they are running XCPNG, right? 4 kind of big, kind of bulky, not super big or bulky, but they're rack servers in a rack in my other room. And they are running the, well, right here. They're running, node list, that's good. They're running the auto servers, which are for the automation course that we're running through Discord. And it's free, but all the automation stuff. They're running all our Hammer servers, which are our cybersecurity, kind of like our securing Linux, which is like a security engineering course that we're running. And then our Rocky servers, only 1 and 2 were on because that's all the capacity I had. But we just took 4 right here. Uh-oh, something broke. Hold on, something broke. He uses a kernel. Right, no space left on device. Oh, it's very possible. Hold on. Let's shut them down. I don't really care for much as far as this goes because this is I need to give him a little more memory. I only gave him 4 gigs. These boxes required 8 to boot, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. Let's turn him down, bring him back up, because here, when this is done, we'll be able to come over here and we will be able to deploy these, right? And this is a test of just one, right? We will call this with an environment file, and we will give the name of each server as we build it, right? And then we will give the we'll keep an environment file, right? That's the easiest way to do it probably. The environment file will look kind of like that little werewolf file, although it'll just be putting in the values. And the nodes will stand up over here in Proxmox, and they will go and they will boot from the werewolf, and they will pull their identities from werewolf, but they'll be built as they're needed via Ansible. That's kind of where we're going with this. All right, I know it's boring, right? But he should be. Is he down? What is going on here? Stop. Like, shut down. Stop. Overrule. Shut down. That's what I want you to stop. Because I need to change your hardware to be. Yeah, I didn't give him enough memory, so we're gonna edit his memory to 8192, and then sure ballooning. Sure. And then let's give him an old. And you know, we called him Rocky 10 because we were going to mess around and build Rocky 10. Nope. Let's change his name. I think we could change his name in here somewhere. Again, this all once we figure it all out, then it's all automated. We don't have to do. We don't have to touch things at the. You know, like this. We'll call him Rocky 4. Because that's what his identity is over there. That's how he's going to boot. But he shouldn't run out of memory this time. He didn't have enough memory to switch his init RAM FS because his init RAM FS requires 8 gigs. That's the way I have it set. So, all right, let him boot. Watch him console. It's always fun. There he is. He's pulling everything down. Let's see that he doesn't fail this time. And we could make those smaller. We could be more efficient about this stuff. Oh, excuse me. We just need to see that he doesn't break. No, that's it. So, come back over here. SSH2 Rocky 4. Now, we're going to get a weird error because no, we aren't. Now I'm banging, so this is being sent to wall, but well, this isn't logged in. Hold on. I know this is really small, but let's pop out the console if we can. There we go. Can we get the console real big? And if I echo from here to wall, it should send it to wall over there. So that's actually really good. So now I have parameters to add in Ansible, right? But for all intents and purposes, now I have all the other things set up to be able to scale capacity from my older systems into this newer system. In fact, right now, if I wanted to, this would not take much work, but I could take all these target machines down, move them over into my newer, bigger machine, and I could take all basically the werewolf servers, move them over there, and these machines could then be decommissioned out of my environment. Like these systems really just exist. Well, this one can't because it's got werewolf on it, which is the node that's doing everything, and C router. C router also needs to be moved. But this environment here, this one could almost completely just be shut off because there's nothing else going on with it. Although it is running up my Influx DB2. But all that to say, we're eventually kind of decommissioning my older hardware and moving it out and getting it out of the way. And now we've just proved that things that we stand up in Proxmox, like again, my Proxmox environment has never been on VLAN 1 before. It has never talked over here into the system. That's an old Rocky 4 was a node that had been over here. And now we just changed his, because Werewolf knows about nodes via their MAC addresses. And we just did that and stood it up there. Now, I don't have this going right now, but if I wanted to over here, so in our Bastion system, the way our Bastion system works, if you guys don't know, it allows people to log into our environments. And if I cat var chroot bin in here, you guys would see that we've got Rocky 1 and 2, nobody's using them. But I could add Rocky 4 into this if I wanted to now, because now Rocky 4 exists over here. And I had taken Rocky 3, 4, and 5 out because we didn't have the capacity, but now we've got the capacity back, so we could start to add that back in. And if you guys don't know, if you're ever in our Discord, right, and you go to our Prolog Lab environment, there's a little bot in here, and all you gotta do is tell the bot you say !add key, and you give your public version, not your private. Never give your private to anybody. Never even show it to anybody. Your public version of your SSH key, you drop it in there, and it'll go and it'll drop it in the lab, and then you can connect into our lab environment. So that's open for anybody in the Discord. So if you guys don't know how to get in Discord, it's in the description on YouTube, and on Twitch it's down. You just do !Discord. I'll tell you how to get in there. This gets updated right here every minute in our environment. Every minute in our environment, this gets updated. So when people utilize servers, they go out of the Bastion. And then if you guys don't know how a Bastion works, I show you how to do that in other classes and stuff. Well, I'm super glad that that's working, because now we're going to be able to deploy different things and different, things that we need. Again, like if we want to test, I was going to download over here and work on in Werewolf, putting in the what's that called? I was gonna put in the oh, my brain's not working tonight. Oh, I was gonna download Rocky 10, right? But maybe we'll save that for when I got a little more time. But it is awesome. I mean, there's a lot more than they've ever had in here before. Look, they've got the Alma Linux. They've got the Rocky Linux, which Rocky Werewolf is run by CIQ. They're the owners, maintainers of it, and they're the same ones that run Rocky Linux. So it makes sense that they're going to work together. And then Alma Linux is a separate fork. When CentOS died because of Red Hat, Alma Linux and Rocky were kind of like the two major splits for corporations. Alma is supported by, couldn't even tell you who, but I know Rocky Linux is also supported. So there's two supported options. And then Tumbleweed and Leap are two versions of OpenSUSE. I forget which one's the newer one. I think Tumbleweed's the newer one. But those are both supported versions that then we can run. So, if you're wondering, what happens in Werewolf is you pull down a container, you run inside that container, and you build all the things you want for a fully working operating system, like fully working server. It's not a containerized server once it deploys. When we go to here and if I were to reboot him, he would go and he would pull his container image from Werewolf right here. And he would pull that image and he would deploy. He's not a container anymore. Like, people always ask, like, well, what's running the containerization? Is it like Podman? Is it Cryo? Is it whatever? Nope. He's like little Pinocchio. He's a real boy. He's no longer a little fake little wooden boy. Now he's a real one, right? So it's a real server. This is a real system here that we can interact with as a real system. We can do, if it's still logged in, I can I have that disk, right? I should have a 32 gig disk. So block ID. Apparently I don't have apparently I don't have anything. I don't have anything mounted though. Right? There's nothing there. But we could add that into a system. We could do multiple smaller disks if we wanted to. This system is all running right here in TempFS though, right? So we've got 8 gigs of TempFS right here. Which I believe if we cat etc fs tab, we can see that it's because I set our root fs size to 8 gigs. If I set that down to 4 gigs, we could boot these boxes smaller, but people will end up crashing their servers faster. I want them to be able to update servers. I want them to be able to, there's some labs that we have that show you guys how to connect into repositories and run your own repository locally and then share it out from your machine. Very valuable skills in the sysadmin world. And we do that. So I think this is pretty awesome. The other thing I need to do, so one of the things I do need to do, and this will be something that we need to decide which version of Linux we want to run. We might do Rocky 10 for it. Is we do have to build one of these out. And then when we build it out, get a kernel on it, get it all working, we're going to put a desktop on it. And some of you guys know that we have guacamole in the environment. You say, what the hell is a guacamole? Well, guacamole is the ability to come into the servers if they have a GUI. And well, do I have this system down? I might have that system down right now. I'll go modify that and mess with it. But typically with that, you can come in and then now you're connected in and you could have a desktop. Now, I don't want to blow all my bandwidth by having a bunch of desktops through there, but for some of the people who have asked to be like professional Linux users group official admin type people that want to like be able to say, hey, we did admin work on a real cluster of servers, I can give access for them to do this kind of stuff. So we have some people that have been around for a while who want to do some maintenance stuff. And I think that will be valuable. I also do want to set it up where I put GNS3 on there and show. I know some of you guys, not everybody here, like we all play with Linux, right? We all want to be Linux admins and engineers and stuff. But some people want to be DevOps and SRE, and some of you probably even want to be network engineers, which is what my background is in, right? Before I came over to Linux many years ago, I was a classically trained kind of network engineer, right? So I still teach network engineering, by the way, in case anybody's wondering. I still teach that at college. So where I'm going with that is I would love to give you guys GNS3, have a bunch of scenarios up there, and then we could also have some. And again, I don't want to have you guys do networking to be network engineers unless some of you really want that. I more want you guys to understand networking from like what do I need to know as a systems engineer, because this kind of stuff, like doing VLANs and that kind of stuff, is at least one step away from what I do. So I talk to network engineers often, and I talk to network guys a lot, and I want to understand. Does it say Sunday? No, it shouldn't say Sunday. Building out labs and not. Oh, it does say not working too hard on a Sunday. You guys are right. I'll just change that to Tuesday. Yeah, I didn't realize I had it different. I thought I had. Because it's Tuesday, right? There, I fixed it. Now it's Tuesday. So, let's think about how we want to do. So I'm going to set up. It's like it's kind of like, I thought it was Sunday. It's kind of like, have any of you guys ever seen the movie Step Brothers? And they put their two beds. They make their beds into bunk beds by just like hammering these. It's terrible. And they're like, so much room for activities. I'm kind of having that problem right now. Like I have all this room for activities, and I don't really have like exactly what I want to do with this stuff yet. And I've been focused so much on the automation course and doing stuff out in Killer Coda that this has really just been me messing around with stuff. But now that we got that to work once, right? This is an old engineering thing. If I can get it to work once, now I can build it out. I can automate it, right? I just had to see it work once. Now I know like that I can get it to work. I just have to get the automation piece of it to work, and that's over here, which is I'm just gonna have to modify this. I'm gonna add. We'll variabilize the name, pull that from an environment file. The node will stay the same. The node will always be Proxmox. We're also communicating with that over the API host, which is who we're talking to as well. And then and we pull all that from Vault, right? I have Vault locked down, so all my variables, all my secret variables that I don't want people to see are in there, in the Vault. And then we can, once we have the connect, then there's just the variables that we add to do the networking. Networking will be unique to each box, so there will be a value for that in the environment file for each server. It'll look kind of like, for people that have never seen what I'm talking about, it'll look kind of like this right here. If you've never seen what I'm talking about, where is that? It's in, I did it when I did the target deployer. So here's the target deployer YAML. This is how you do it if you're going to send something to XCPNG. By the way, all the stuff guys, all my stuff here, if you want it, it's up in Discord, right? We have we're over 6 years on Discord. We have years and years of stuff up on Discord if anybody needs it, like in certain channels. This would be an Ansible code. We have so much Ansible code out there. But what I was going to show you guys is this one, the target environment. Target environment looks like this. And this is not an inventory file, right? This is an environment file, and that's or a var. It's technically a vars file, right? But right, I mean, an inventory file, an environment file is a type of variables file because I'm giving variables, and the hierarchy of those variables are nodes, and then each node, so nodes dot node name, dot node host, and dot node mac. And the way this got read in, when we go look at the system, so remember that a little bit, and then we'll go look at this again. In the deployer down here at the bottom, we had to put the item.node.mac. So we looped over nodes, right? So we looped over nodes at the top. And then for each item, so we're looping over each item in nodes, right? So node is called item. For the purposes of this, Ansible uses the control, the name of the variable that you're going through in the loop is item, right? So the first one is item.node.mac. So for the first item, .node, so the first item will be this one, .node.mac. We'll put 11 right here. Item.node.mac for the first one. The item.node.name would be target 1.1, right? And this is a loop right here. This doesn't necessarily probably look like a loop to some of you. In fact, I probably should just take all these commented things out that we're not using anymore. But that was the original design to deploy the disks with it, which we didn't really use the disks on the target nodes. We only use the disks on the Rocky nodes. So that's neither here nor there. But the point is, here's one variable, here's another variable, here's variables that are being pulled in from the, these are being pulled in from Vault, all these ones. And then, where's the name? So Mac, name, I thought there was another one that was being used. Oh, well, the host, the reason host is variabilized like this here, and you see 202, is because I have 4 different XCP-ng nodes, so if I wanted to put these on different hosts, I could. The only caveat to that, the only limit, is this template UUID is specific to the XCP-ng node. So I would have to copy, in this case, they all went to here, because this was actually how we deployed these in this environment. They all went to here. So the target server template is right here, and the UUID is 6987E, 6987E, A60CB, A60CB. So you see, you can typically just look at the front and the end of a string like this and verify that they're probably accurate. But yeah, that's where that deployed. Now, if I took this and copied it to the other nodes, then this would be valuable to deploy to any of my 4 XCP-ng servers. Does that kind of make sense? Right? We're just pointing everywhere. All right. We didn't get nearly as much done as I kind of thought as far as this stuff goes, but I do know the wife's coming home soon, so I will be getting off here. But look, we did get Rocky 4 to boot across from my new Proxmox environment with the proper VLAN, right? Because you had to make sure that you were on the VLAN tag 1. Actually, I hear the wife coming in right now, so I got to get off here soon. But VLAN tag 1 allows me to be on that same network with my Werewolf server. There's two VLANs in my environment. There's untagged VLAN 0, and then there's tagged VLAN 1. Well, it's untagged, so it doesn't really have any, but it counts as default. If I want to break out, like we've talked about using the Proxmox environment for me to show you guys how to do Werewolf, and the limiting factor on that will be, I'll probably have to give like certain environments to each person or to each group of people maybe. Your werewolf environment will have to be on its own VLAN, because when it's on its own VLAN, it becomes its own broadcast domain. And when it's on its own broadcast domain, DHCP will work properly. If we let them all play in the same area, they're all going to be trying to respond to DHCP, and you can't have that. When a node comes up and says, "Who am I? Can somebody help me?" only one node better ever answer on that network. So you can only have one DHCP server on any given network. So that will be the limiting factor for that. But I do need to put out some Werewolf. I got to think about how to do that. Maybe we'll start with like 3 of them to start, because I would like, if we're gonna show people around Werewolf and this, you know, high performance compute type deployer that we're using, because we're using a lot of high performance compute stuff. I think there's a lot of good value for training people on it. So, and so much so that I know CIQ charges fucking thousands of dollars to go to like a week long course. In fact, we can go look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's like $4 or $5 grand. So I would definitely like to just get little environments that people can go play in, and then we could just go through all the tasks that you need to do to run them, and I think that would be valuable for people. But anyways, all right. So, yeah, I think that's good for here. I think we got anything we have. If anybody has any questions, you guys, nobody's interrupting me really, but you guys are always good. Oh, software-defined networking, Xshunya? I think software-defined networking is like, it's all the rage right now, right? Kubernetes exists because you can do SDN inside of it. I mean, all of the things that you do in the cloud is all SDN, software-defined networking. Guys, all software-defined networking means to me, as a former networking engineer, is I don't have to go and type all these commands into the box anymore. Now I just say, I would like to have a network that's a /24 inside of this, and it just freaking builds it for me. And that's really where we're at right now with Kubernetes and cloud stuff. Yeah. Xshunya, I definitely agree that HPC is very important. Yeah. And, you know, I saw somebody was saying something today about like, oh, all these people dumped all this money in NVIDIA. They dumped all this stock out of there, and we're coming for this. And I'm like, guys, I work with HPC. NVIDIA controls the whole damn thing. They control, most people probably don't know this if you're not in high-performance compute, they control all of Mellanox, which is InfiniBand. And Mellanox was bought by NVIDIA years ago, probably long time ago. And there's no other player in the game that's anywhere near them for, you know, really actually doing this stuff. So it's actually funny, I'm showing this over here. This is exactly not the way we're doing it here. We're doing it, it's gonna look like this, but then I have to add component variables to it, and then I'll make a file. It'll call in from an environment file the stuff that we're building up. So yeah, maybe I'll do the first one as a werewolf deploy, and I'll get the werewolf nodes up, and that would be good. And then we'll just add them in right to the Bastion, and then all we have to do from the Bastion is I'll probably give like a little like a key that you have to use, like maybe a little, like I won't call it an API key. I'll just give a little key, and that will get people into either the first, the second, or the third, maybe werewolf cluster. And then to actually get in there, you'll need to get that from me, and I'll only give those to maybe like teams of people. We were talking about doing something for Christmas, like over the Christmas holiday here in America, but I mean, I guess anybody around the world could do it. And we were talking about breaking up into teams and doing some kind of task-based thing. So maybe we'll do werewolf. I think that would be a fun one for people. I think people would like that. So what did I miss? Hayes, I might have missed your thing because I got a bunch of other stuff that popped up. I apologize. More hours in the day. Yeah, when I was young, 24. Yeah, you need more hours. All right, guys. We'll probably call it here then. I try to do at least an hour, but I'm a little short of that today. So we'll keep working on this stuff though, and I will get those environments built out, and then I'll get them added into the Bastion, and then I'll let you guys know. Also, I'm still building out the additional labs for the automation course, because the automation course is coming up each week, right? We're in Unit 8 this week now, so like unit, I mean, they're all free, right? Just go up on Discord and play with them. So all right, I will see some of you guys later, and let me go to my little end of stream stuff. We will talk, and